Recording in process.
Thank you. It, excuse me, is 4:59 and I'm calling to order the Northpoint Charter School Governance Council. Northpoint Charter School Governance Council. And it is Wednesday, June 17th. Could I get a roll call, please?
Sam Manacucci?
Here.
Is that Adele coming in? Yes. Lisa Bamberg here. Anthony Padilla.
Here.
Eileen Johnson.
Here.
And Adele Dozier.
Here.
All right.
Okay, would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, did anyone have any changes they wanted to make to the agenda? All right, none heard. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda as it is?
This is Anthony. I make a motion to approve the agenda as it is presented.
And a second?
Sarah Minicucci, I second the motion.
All right, and a vote?
This is a vote to adopt the agenda. Sarah Manacucci.
Aye.
Adele Dozier.
Aye.
Lisa Bamberg. Aye. Anthony Padilla.
Aye.
Eileen Johnson.
Aye. Motion passed. All right, public comment, seeking public input on the facility master plan and capital improvement projects. Seeing no members of the public present, we'll proceed. Consent agenda. Did anyone have any changes they wanted to propose for the meeting minutes? All right, hearing none. Could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda with the minutes and finance packet?
This is Anthony. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the meeting minutes from last time and the finance package, including the bars.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
So I'll second the motion on the table.
Great. And a vote?
This is a vote to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the 20 May meeting and the finance package with the bars. Sarah Manacucci.
Aye.
Adele Dozier.
Aye.
Lisa Bamberg. Aye. Anthony Padilla.
Aye.
Eileen Johnson.
Aye. All right, we scroll down just a little bit, Lisa. Thank you. Financial management. The finance committee met right before this and there was nothing of note for us to discuss. The bars that were in the package were approved by the blanket bar approval that we did last month. So, Marie, do you want to provide the business manager report?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video because my internet's a bit unstable. Good evening, board and GC president and Ms. Lisa Mora. We did have the the finance committee meeting, and there was really nothing unusual to report. We are moving into the end of the school year, the end of the fiscal year being June 30th, and the beginning of the new FY being July 1st. So there was some discussion about some items to go with that. We also are moving into audit season, so we will be working towards that and busy. That's all I can say, and I stand for any questions.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you.
And do you want to save for the CLA audit SAU discussion, or you could just drop off whenever you,
Okay,
whenever.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Right.
All right, the CLA audit SAU discussion and action. Oh, here. there you
The
go.
audit scope of work just came in, and it, like last year, it now rises above the level that needs board approval. So we are staying with Clifton Larson Allen. It's assigned by PED. We don't choose. It's just assigned. But the audit cost was included in that scope of work. Right for me here, it was 22,000 and 22,750. So I
I'm
just
sorry, could you
need
say the number again? The video was choppy.
22,750.
Okay, thank you.
So I just need board approval to proceed with the audit contract.
Can you bring up the SOW for 1 second? I was a bit confused because this says this says last sentence, first paragraph, CLA will provide for the entity as of and for the year ended June 30th. So this is an SOW to audit us in fiscal year 26, even though the work is going to take place in fiscal year 27. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to, okay.
Yes, and actually, this is a draft version. CLA did not have the final contract and scope of work ready, but Victor sent me a draft. As I explained, hey, the board's meeting this week and I need to get it approved. I don't want to delay approval until mid-July when we're already in audit season. So he provided this draft, but he didn't anticipate any significant changes.
Okay.
And that makes sense. They would only audit after the fiscal year is complete. So
Right.
yeah. It took me a second when you were asking though. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Usually in statements of work, it's the period of performance that the work is done in. And so when I saw the 26th day, and then it took me a little while to realize they were auditing, that date was related to the time period they're auditing from.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
there any other
great.
questions about the audit or the contract?
No. Okay, so could we get a motion to approve the CLA audit SAU when the final is presented, as long as there are minimal changes?
This Anthony, I make a motion to approve the CLA audit SAL with the temporary until the final is sent with minimal changes.
Great, and a second?
Sarah here, and I second the motion.
All right, and a vote?
This is a vote to approve the CLA auditing SAL and as discussed. Sarah Menacucci,
Aye.
Adele Dozier,
I,
Lisa Berenberg, aye. Anthony Padilla,
Aye.
Eileen Johnson.
Aye. All right, motion passed. Academic performance, executive director report. Over to you, Lisa.
Okay. I actually left enrollment on there out of habit. I don't have enrollment to report right now, given that we're in the middle of registration. So let's move on to recruitment, where I'll tell you registration is in progress. Positive news is that while we're not counting any chickens before they hatch, we did send out more registration links than we sent out last year for this time in the year. So we sent out 145 registration links, which is very positive because while we know that not all of those students will return and register, we also know that we'll add new students into September like we do every year. So sending out that many links is significant improvement over last year and feels very positive. But I didn't write down the number last year to share with you. It's just more. So that's very positive. And we are continuing with some open house tours. that are going to be focused on folks that have applied, but they haven't come in for a tour yet. We're asking them to come for a tour before they complete registration, and we've been reaching out one-on-one and trying to schedule some group times that they might be able to come in rather than keep going back and forth with the one-on-one, although we're happy to do personalized individual tours as well. So that's moving along.
Great.
School business. Mrs. Dixon is in Florida, and so I will share the end of semester data with you. You just click over here. To finish semester 2, we had 86% of the classes be completed for credit, which does show a slight dip over previous years, just like we saw in the first semester, that we had that slight dip. In the first semester, it was 85% of classes. And this semester, we were up to 86. Last year in May, we had 93% of classes completed for credit. So while it's a slight dip, we're not overly concerned about it right now. We do attribute some of that decline, as we've spoken about before, to the transition to EdgeX. And this also does not account for summer school classes. We have a number of students with an IEP or 504 accommodation for extended time. And so while some of these classes were not completed for credit by May 21st, they had extended time through summer session. And so we do anticipate that number going up as students complete those summer classes.
I would love to hear what it is. I know you'll present it, but I can't wait to hear what it is after that last
Okay.
push.
This is our subpopulation data that we also track and present. You do notice some lower numbers in a couple of these categories of the subpopulations, but I would like to remind the board that, first of all, the N size for these subpops are too low to be statistically significant. And also, we had a number of new students enter this year that also happen to fall into these categories. And so we know from history that as students have been with us for a year or so, they start to become accustomed to the program and their performance improves. So
And look at
again,
that ELL number. Yes.
yes, and actually, and our number for students with
Excellent.
disabilities is higher completion rate than it is for students without disabilities. And so that's all very positive. We're really proud to see of how well we're supporting those students.
Will you show us this next month as well with the updated data?
I will try, but Miss Dixon will be off contract, and so I'd really prefer to delay that if that's acceptable, because I don't know all the fancy tricks that she knows to put this together.
Yep, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Thank you. So that's the subpopulation data. This is the trend over time for subpopulations. So you can see we did see, like we already noted, quite a dip in a couple of, in this category in particular, which is also largely attributed to some of the new students that we had. When you've only got such a small population, 1 or 2 students makes a significant impact. So that is Ms. Dixon's course progress data. I also sent over to you the NWEA spreadsheet, which is very lengthy. I don't know if you had a chance to dive into it. So I will summarize with these reports. When the school renewed our charter, remember we chose the option 2 that allows us to use our NWEA, which is our short cycle assessment data. We administer this test 3 times a year. And in order to be counted as successful, students have to, for section 1 that we're looking at first here, they have to score proficient or meet their growth goal in both reading and in math in order to be counted as successful. So you can see that we had, oh, sorry, I misspoke. The both part is for 1B. In 1A, they score them separately. My apologies. Math, we had 85% of students scored as successful. and we had 90% of students in reading. So those
Great.
numbers, according to I can't give you the final rating until I see what our state score is, but we should be at meets or exceeds for this number. And I'd also like to remind the board that while we've had a little bit higher numbers than this last year, they changed the rubric. And it increased the percentage students had to meet in order to be scored successful. So they're good numbers. We're really proud of those numbers. The
Great.
second part that's measured is for 1B, and 1B looks at the different subpopulations and whether or not students met their specific growth percentage. And this is the one where they have to have met it in both in order to ultimately be counted as successful. So you can see that some of these populations are too small to be considered. They have to meet at least 9 or at least 20 students to meet the N size and be considered and counted in the final rating. So if they're red here, it's because there is too small of a population to be counted, so it doesn't score it for us. But in math, you can see the breakdown of how our different subpopulations score, and can make it a little bit bigger for you. I know it's hard to see here, but it was included in your packet as well.
Well,
Hey, I got a quick question. Just noticing, this is Adele. The number of students in each category is greater than the sum of male and female. Is that because some students self-identify as being more than one ethnicity?
Could you say that one more time?
Okay, so you've got 53 female, 69 male. If you add that up and then compare it with all the students under the different races and ethnicities,
Yes.
so some students identify as more than one ethnicity. Sorry, I'm
Yes.
stumbling over my tongue today.
Yes. They
Okay.
can be Caucasian and Hispanic.
Okay.
And so
Thank
that accounts for the difference.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, thank you for repeating it. I needed to hear it twice.
I still didn't say it right, but I'm glad you got it.
So these are our results in math. And for reading, they're stronger. Here are the results in reading. Now, the way the rubric is scored is overall, you have to have to score meets in this category. Growth is not something that we are rated on. High schools are not rated on in the state accountability system. And so in order to be considered successful for meets, we have to have 100% of our subgroups have at least 60% of students successful to be counted meets. And to hit exceeds, we have to have 70% in every subgroup. And so we didn't hit the 70%, but we did get the 60%. And again, this is with that increased target over what we reported last year as they adjusted the business rules for it. So this one I can show on the rubric is meets, and the 1A has to wait for the state. So this is something that has already been sent to the charter school division, their expert there to review. She requested the opportunity to review the templates before we post them to Epicenter. She didn't see any concerns or problems with it, so I wanted to share it with the board and have you approve it, and then I will get it uploaded to Epicenter so we can meet that compliance. What questions do you have about this?
no questions? Okay.
All right. Then let's look at the mission-specific goals, which the school changed our mission-specific goal when we renewed. In order to be counted as successful, students have to score an 80% or higher in both semesters of their CTE course, which could be Smart Lab. For 9th and 10th graders, it's always Smart Lab. For 11th and 12th graders, it could be Smart Lab, or it could be a dual credit class at CNM, or it could be one of our online career technical electives. any of those options are acceptable, but it's something that's moving them towards college and career readiness. So to be successful, they have to score an 80% or higher in both semesters of those classes. And this year we improved. Last year we were meets with 72%. And this year we improved that to just shy of 83%. And so we were scored exceeds in our mission specific goal. One of the things we noted last year was a significant drop in the ninth grade performance in the second semester, particularly in their Smart Lab attendance, because ninth graders are all doing it through Smart Lab. We strengthened that this year by introducing some attendance contracts and some more specific attendance information in the orientation sessions of Smart Lab to help students and families understand how they could make up absences because it's a once a week in-person class. How would they go about making up absences and how important it was to attend. And we did improve quite a bit this year. So we're counting that as successful.
That's great.
Any questions about the mission specific goals?
Nope.
Okay. Then last thing on my report, oh, let me tell you, that also will be uploaded to Epicenter now. I just wanted to share it with you first before I officially uploaded it. So I'll get that taken care of. For staffing, I am pleased to report that I have the final position that needed to be filled, has accepted the position and cleared the background check. And we're just waiting on a couple of paperwork pieces before she can come in to sign her contract. But I don't anticipate any hiccups, so I believe we are now fully staffed for next year. Nice.
Great job.
Yes, thank you. That's nice to know that we've got that locked down with plenty of time. And each of the candidates, Brandon has taken over for Alan. Alan is officially retired now. And so he did a great job training Brandon and kind of passing everything over. So Brandon's fitting right in. And I believe the other two are going to be really strong additions to the staff. As they were interviewed, they were very student-centered, looking for something collaborative. And I'm very optimistic that they're going to fit in really well and be a great addition to our team.
Great.
Okay. That's staffing.
Okay.
Any questions or are we ready to move on?
No questions. All right, the governance, the student handbook updates, discussion and action.
I included in your packet the proposed updates to our student handbook. The first one is for dual credit, and this is just to improve the eligibility, the way it's written in the handbook. Of course, we want our students to be successful in their high school classes first, before they're taking college level classes. And so we're adding in that the student, the yellow, I should have noted that the yellow is what's being changed. We're adding in that they cannot have received an F in any course in the previous semester to be eligible for dual credit. And that withdrawing from a dual credit course or being dropped by the instructor, which has happened before, may make the student ineligible for CNM the following semester. We don't want to make it where it makes them ineligible for a year, but they need to prove success in their high school classes before they're eligible to continue with college level classes. And then these others are just some wording changes. CNM changed the name of the AccuPlacer. They do a different test now. So rather than name the test, I will just call it the placement exam. And this is just fixing some weird wording here. For the student dress code, we would like to change and eliminate this no exposed torso. Speaking with staff members, that while we want our students to be dressed appropriately for school, it's not worth fighting the ongoing battle to keep your belly covered. And
It's so popular right now too.
yes.
Yeah.
So we would prefer to remove that and just say you have to have your body reasonably covered. And it already says up here that we have some discretionary authority on what makes it reasonable.
Yeah.
And we do just attempt to keep the air conditioning on in the main lab. which discourages inappropriate dress.
Mhm.
And
Are
then
you,
the
are you guys, I'm sorry, I have a question. Are you guys going to have some sort of like hidden rule, like, however many inches of this shouldn't be shown or something? Or are you gonna have some sort of uniformity behind the scenes? I think that might be good.
yes,
Okay.
like we do now, we'll talk about it as a staff about what constitutes inappropriate.
Okay.
And then we have some other safety measures in place. We often have a male staff member report something that a female student might be wearing. They'll report that to a female staff member to approach the student, just to keep everyone comfortable. And
Perfect.
yeah, so we have some things like that and some shared understanding behind the scenes of what makes it unreasonable.
Okay, good. Sorry
And
to
then I did
interrupt.
want
Go
to
on.
add in the need for hard-soled shoes. Sometimes students wear slippers to school, and that's, I'm sure, comfortable, but a safety concern. So I'd like to formalize that in writing in the dress code.
Will you like send them out to the car or send them home if they're not wearing them? Or do they get a warning?
They usually get a warning first, and hey, that's not acceptable, and this is why. And then if it repeats, we do have dress code violations in the discipline rubric already. So it's usually a warning, a phone call home, and if it continues, then it can be a meeting, and parents can bring in appropriate clothing as necessary.
Okay.
It doesn't usually escalate to that level.
Right.
And then last, we would like
I
to
will-
add this.
I have one more question on that. What about, don't you guys have pajama day?
Occasionally, yes,
Okay. Are they approved on that day?
no.
No? Okay.
It's never been approved. Even when we have pajama day, we say
Mhm.
your pajamas, because that's a little risky with high schoolers to say pajama day.
Yeah.
But they need to be school appropriate pajamas.
Okay.
And they're told then that they still have to wear regular shoes.
All right, good. Thanks.
Sure. Last is that I'd like to add this addition. You know that Northpoint offers a credit recovery program to outside students where they can pay for classes on Edgenuity. And we've had a couple of students recently ask about taking classes that way, like during the month of July.
Mhm.
We normally offer credit recovery or accelerated classes to our students during the academic year. But if they're really interested in pursuing it more quickly, we just want to limit the number of classes they can take in that method, to preserve our academic integrity. And so we believe limiting that to 1 credit per academic year is reasonable, and we'd just like to formalize that in writing.
Okay.
Does anybody else have questions about the proposed changes?
All right, hearing none. Could I get a motion to approve the student handbook updates as presented?
This is Anthony. I make a motion to approve the student handbook updates as um, as it's shown.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second it, Adele.
Thanks, Adele. And a vote.
This is a vote to approve the changes to the student handbook as discussed. Sarah Menacucci,
Aye.
Adele Dozier,
Aye.
Anthony Padilla,
Aye.
Lisa Berenberg, aye. Eileen Johnson.
Aye. Motion passed. All right. Charter school conditions of renewal compliance, discussion and action.
This form was also included in your packets for review. Again, when the school was renewed, we were originally renewed with some conditions. Last summer, the PEC deemed the academic performance and the professional development conditions satisfied, but they kept the graduation condition on. So I am reporting to the PEC tomorrow on the status of our graduation condition. And I already told Ms. Johnson that I expect that they will deem that one satisfied as well, but that's obviously their decision. So what this document does is just details kind of what we've done this year, the action steps we've taken and the growth that we've seen. We did have, here we go, 11% growth in the four-year graduation rate from cohort 2024, where it was 62%, to cohort 25, which is 73%. And I will not have the recently graduated class until next year. It lags a year behind. But it does look strong on our internal data. I can share with you that internally, with the number of students we had 89% of our cohort 2026 students graduate that are currently enrolled. One more of those, we had 5 students that were behind. One of those students had some medical issues and will be a summer grad. She actually finished her classes last week. Which reminds me, Miss Johnson, when convenient, I need you to sign her diploma.
Yep, okay.
So that leaves 4 students that are behind from our currently enrolled students. 2 of those 4 are students that were new to us this year that were behind in credits when they enrolled.
Oh.
So now the way they calculate graduation rate is on a shared accountability unit model. So if we've ever had a student here, we get a piece of their enrollment. Typical student has 16 enrollment periods. That's 4 quarters per year times 4 years. And if they were enrolled at Northpoint for any of those quarters, then we own a piece of their graduation outcome, whether or not they stayed with us, if they were here for 1 9-week period, or if they were here for 4 years, you just own the percentage that you've had them for. And so I can't give you an accurate number because if they're no longer here, I don't know their outcome yet. But that will be part of the graduation validation process that we do in the fall when they start releasing that information and asking us to look at. But internally, right now, we had 89% of our enrolled cohort 2026 graduate. So that looks strong. We did exit, as you know, we exited the CSI grad designation and we were identified as a spotlight school. So given the strong growth in our graduation rate and the fact that we exited designation, I wouldn't expect any concerns from the PEC. And the rest of the document outlines some of the things that we did in order to improve our graduation rate. But it just occurred to me that I didn't list it, but of course, proper data validation is number 1 and was the biggest reason for the drop in our graduation rate in the first place was not proper data validation, which we do now. We did the credit recovery manager program, referring students at risk of failure to a credit recovery manager, requiring meetings with families. We instituted a contract as well in the second semester for those students to help drive home the importance and get everyone on board with the plan moving forward. We offer free summer school to our students. Many of them use it for credit recovery, and just as many use it for accelerated progress. I believe it's 61 students currently enrolled in summer school, and many of them are taking classes in order to get ahead. And others are taking it because they need the credit recovery. So those are some of the programs that we do to improve our graduation rate. And this is the information I'll present to the PEC tomorrow.
So are we done now? Are we done on this? Because our conditions only ran through this year, correct?
No, the conditions are for the term of the contract, which goes through 2029. Now, as I said, last year, the PEC deemed the other conditions satisfied, and so we didn't have to report back on that. So tomorrow, they will decide if they're going to deem the graduation conditions satisfied or not.
Okay, and if they do, is there any other conditions that we have to track, or are we done?
We're done.
Okay, excellent.
Hearing this reminded me or made me think of a question about the student handbook. When you're saying like only 1 accelerated class could be taken, is that outside of summer school?
Yes.
Okay.
That's through the specific extended learning program. We
Got it.
always
Okay.
will allow students during the regular school year to take an additional class if they're
Okay,
can handle the load or have finished their other classes, and they can
Okay.
take 2 classes in summer school.
okay,
So that's in
All right.
addition to those.
okay, great.
Any questions about the renewal conditions compliance document?
Nope, I don't have any. And hearing none, could I get a motion to approve the charter conditions renewal compliance document as presented?
This is Anthony. I'll make a motion to approve the charter conditions of renewal compliance as was presented.
Thank you. And a second?
Sarah, and I second it.
Great. And a vote?
This is a vote to approve the charter school renewal condition compliance as presented. Sarah Menacucci,
Aye.
Adele Dozier,
Aye.
Anthony Padilla,
Aye.
Lisa Berenberg, aye. Eileen Johnson.
Aye. Great. Thank you. Motion passed. All right. And now we would like to go into a closed session for the purpose of discussing for the purposes of discussion of threatened or pending litigation pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1 H7. Could I get a motion to go into closed session?
Miss
Oh, sorry.
Miss Johnson, I believe in
Yeah.
your motion, you also need to invite Ms. Weisenberg and myself if you'd like me to join too.
Okay, yes, we would like both of you to join. Could I get a motion for that closed session, inviting those two people?
Sarah Menacucci here. I'd like to propose a motion for the closed section for the purpose of discussion of threatened or pending litigation, and also inviting Lisa and Weisenberg.
Mhm. Yep, can you add the NMSA? The
Oh,
numbers?
and also
Yeah.
add in pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1 H7.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
I second that motion.
All right, thank you, Anthony, and a vote?
This is a vote to enter closed session for the purpose of discussion of threatened or pending litigation pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1 H7, with the invitation extended to Lisa Mora and Ms. Weisenberg to attend the closed session. Sarah Menacucci,
Aye.
Adele Dozier,
Aye.
Anthony Padilla,
Aye.
Lisa Berenberg, aye. Eileen Johnson.
Aye. All right, it is 5:38. Could you? turn off the recording?
5:38. Okay, there are no members of the public, so
We can just stay here.
Yeah,
yes, if I can. Okay, the recording is resumed.
okay. It is 6:29 and we are back from closed session. Nothing other than, I can't remember the phrasing, possible litigation, was discussed.
There you go, sorry.
Okay, nothing other than threatened or pending litigation pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1 H7 was discussed. All right, governing council development.
Everybody
Hours.
met their training hours. Great
Yeah,
job.
Great.
Reminder that the new year starts on July 1, and now you are returning board members and only subject to the 5 hours of training, which is much easier to get.
Yep, and then in the July meeting, then we'll have officer elections. So my term for president is up. You can only do 2 terms, two consecutive years. So we'll be looking for somebody else who wants to do that. And then we'd probably look at that same time then at rearranging committees, if anybody wants to change the committee they're on, or if someone were to resign and we'd need to fill a committee, we could do that. But and then announcements and governing council member comments. We had just received something in the mail about the audit committee, and you were going to bring up those dates, Lisa.
Yes, the audit committee is currently, I just had that open. It's Anthony and Adele. Yes, Anthony and Adele are on the audit committee. And we just received the entrance conference that audit committee members are required to attend. They always provide 2 options. It's on Zoom. All you have to do is join the Zoom and be present and listen to the instructions. The first opportunity is on next Friday, 6/26, from 1 to 1:30. Or they have a second opportunity on July 30th, again from 1 to 1:30. So I can send out links for that. I'm not sure if the current audit committee members plan to continue or if you were looking to change committees. But just know that if you're on the audit committee, you need to attend one of those 2 times. Marie and myself will be attending next Friday on the 26th. So if you plan to attend the 26th, if you'll let me know so that we can make sure it gets recorded that our audit committee members were present.
Yeah, I think I'll try to come next Friday because I have no idea what I'm going to be doing at the end of July. So, yeah, if you could send me the link, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
I will.
I'll try to do that also.
Okay, I will forward the link to you both. And then if that doesn't work, I'll forward you the July link later.
Thank you, guys. Any
Yes,
other
thank you both.
announcements or comments? No? Okay. Our next regular meeting is July 15th at 5 p.m. via Zoom, and it is 6:33. We are adjourned.
Bye.
Stop the
All right, thank
recording.
you.
Sounds good.